In the NFL, it is not uncommon for NFL analysts to flip-flop on certain opinions. But when it comes to Nick Wright, he is perhaps the biggest flip-flopper of all, and his most recent statement is going to send you all into a tailspin. We're going to talk about it, so stay tuned.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. My friends, I'm going to tell you something right now. When it comes to NFL analysts, doesn't matter if it's Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Mike Florio, Dan Orlowski, I don't care who it is. Every single one of them has at one point or another fallen prey to the flip-flopper syndrome, which is pretty much they say one thing and then shortly thereafter they'll flip over back to whatever it was originally. They do it all the time. Now, the severity of what I would like to call the flip-flopper syndrome varies from person to person. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Probably the most egregious person when it comes to this is Nick Wright from First Things First. Nick Wright has long been a pain and a nuisance, and not only my side, but also in my freaking logical sense of reasoning and thinking, but not only just that, also in other people's, because he has probably some of the most despicably horrendous takes I have ever heard in my life when it comes to football. And not only on top of that, he is offensively hypocritical with his flip-flopping. Again, I've said it before. His flip-flopping, it happens all the damn time. There's just no end to it. It literally just never ends. So, why are we talking about him again? Well, staying true to form, Nick Wright, he did another flip-flop. Now, what I'm referring to here is obviously related to the Lions. And as we all know, all season, Nick Wright has spoken very poorly of the Lions in many of his rankings and opinions when he is comparing and contrasting the Lions to other teams. Now, if he's just doing a generic talking about the Lions or he's just talking about them in a singular context, oh yeah, that's when he'll say, oh, they're doing great, they're a good team, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as he starts comparing us to other really top-end teams, that's where it kind of ends. But I think nobody more so on the Detroit Lions team has caught more of his insufferable trash thoughts and opinions than that of Jared Goff. Despite Goff having probably one of the best quarterback seasons that a quarterback has ever had, Wright has never given Goff the credit he deserves. I have peeked in several times throughout the course of the season for his quote-unquote quarterback mountain just to see if maybe he might actually do the right thing, but he never has given Goff higher than the third tier on the mountain. And it's like, dude, third tier? Name me 5 other quarterbacks that are playing better than Jared Goff this season. I implore you. And no, I don't want to hear nothing about no damn scrambling. I don't want to hear nothing about playmaking. Who's actually been playing better than Jared Goff? Please, I implore you, give me an answer that actually makes some damn sense. Otherwise, I'll laugh you out of the room. And the reason why it's so hypocritical, the reason why his opinions are so just, for lack of a better word, piss poor, is because he won't give Goff the time of day. But for Mahomes, his freaking number one, quarterback, the guy that he absolutely salivates over, it doesn't matter how bad of a day Mahomes has had. He always gives Mahomes top billing every single time. And it's like, okay, this right there makes this statement that he has made all the more better. Because like I said, Nick Wright is a notorious flip-flopper. So what did he say? Because 3 weeks ago, freaking Nick Wright said that Jared Goff was a civilian in comparison to guys like Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, Allen, and that those guys were superheroes and Goff was a civilian he couldn't possibly match up, right? So what the hell did he say that is so much of a flip-flop here? And let me tell you, it's a massive flip-flop. Because yesterday, Nick Wright reversed the script completely with this absolutely bizarre statement. And it's a long one, so I'm going to have to break it up into 3 separate parts. But the first part of the statement will definitely get your eyes popping and your ears percolating. He said, I think Jared Goff is going to win the MVP. Okay, wait a minute. Time the hell out. What the hell? Where did this come from? Because I'm going to be saying this quite honestly. This, to me, is ridiculous. Like, dude, 2 or 3 weeks ago, you're saying Jared Goff can't win a damn Super Bowl with this Detroit Lions team. But yet now, here we are 2 to 3 weeks later. The team's more beat up. The team has less talent available than what it had starting at the beginning of the year of its original talent. But yet, despite all that, now you're saying Goff is going to win the MVP. Where exactly is this coming from? Don't get me wrong, I'm glad to hear it. But where are you coming from with this? Here's where it starts off. Here's the second part of this quote. Nick Wright says, I think the Bills are very live to lose this week to the Rams. And then next week, with Nates and Romo on the call, we are going to get Goff Allen. And they're going to, at some point during that broadcast, throw up both of their numbers, and Goff's absolutely running away with it. Okay, here. So, in essence, what Nick Wright is saying is that he is expecting that the Bills are going to lose against the Rams. That's an interesting thought because the Bills are 10-2, so if they lose against the Rams, they're going to be 10-3 coming into Detroit while the Lions are 12-1. Still going to be a pretty big game no matter what. But then he's saying that during said game, he expects that Nance and Romo are going to put up both quarterback stats on the screen, and that's going to show right then and there on a national televised audience the sheer vast chasm of difference between the production of Goff versus, Allen. And it's like, okay, I can see that. But that's not all he said, and there's more to this statement. Because if that was just it, okay, then maybe I could understand where he's possibly coming from. But there's more to the statement. What he then said afterward absolutely makes the statement fully make sense because I'm like, okay, again, you're not answering why you have all of a sudden made this vast change from 2 to 3 weeks ago. Where exactly are you now thinking that Jared Goff is more impressive than Allen? Here's the answer. Wright then says, I think the Lions win that game, and all of a sudden, Josh Allen has lost 2 in a row. And it's like, wait, his numbers aren't amazing. He's lost 2 in a row. Then there's a bit in there where he's talking about Saquon Barkley, which has nothing to do with this conversation. So I moved on to the last part, which then says, the last Monday night game of the year is Jared Goff against San Francisco. And he is going to have the national stage all to himself before Week 18 when guys rest or whatever. I think he's going to win MVP. Okay, so this is by far, when you take a look at the whole statement, the most interesting and yet unexpected statement that Nick Wright has ever made. One, it's unexpected because, again, like I said earlier, Nick Wright is freaking Patrick Mahomes' #1 fan. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. It doesn't matter what the hell Mahomes does as far as performance on a game day. Freaking Nick Wright is going to say he's the best quarterback no matter what. Freaking Mahomes could go out there and throw 6 interceptions and he'd still say he's the best. Or he'd find some way to pawn it off on somebody else and say that wasn't Mahomes' fault. So it's unexpected that for such a fanboy of Mahomes that, Nick Wright is, him actually saying that he thinks Goff is going to win the MVP, that's rather impressive. Because it's like, I would have thought any other quarterback, he would have said that, not Goff. So the fact that he made that correct statement, that's the unexpected part. But the surprising part, or sorry, not surprising, interesting part is that, once again, even though Nick Wright kind of hinted at it, he stopped a step or two short of actually stating that the reason why Goff was going to win the MVP was because of his actual performances. In essence, what he said is that Goff is going to win the MVP because of the circumstances of other quarterbacks not winning and because Goff is going to be put on a national stage when others aren't. Which, okay, while that might have some merit, again, you're diminishing the things that Goff has done this year. Just to say Goff is going to have more opportunities is completely throwing a wet blanket over all of the things that he's done this year to actually earn the award. Let's think about this. Let's actually break this down once again, because I had this conversation a little bit when I did my last video about Nick Wright being a dumbass. Let's take a look at this, folks. Let's take a look at the four most likely candidates to win the MVP this year, which is Goff, Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. I'm not throwing Sam Darnold in there because Sam Darnold is a one-hit wonder, and until I see more out of him, he doesn't deserve to be in this conversation. So, sorry, not sorry, Vikings fans. You can stuff it. And as far as for Saquon Barkley, again, the MVP award has pretty much become a quarterback award. It's been 12 plus years since a running back has won it. And while Saquon Barkley is having an absolutely stupendous season, there's 4 games left in the year. There's no way he's coming anywhere close to what freaking Adrian Peterson did 12 years ago. So if he's not even going to come close, he's not even part of the conversation. So he might have a chance to get Comeback Player of the Year award. He might have a chance to get Offensive Player of the Year award. But MVP, no chance in hell. MVP is a freaking quarterback award. End of story. So those 4 quarterbacks, Goff, Allen, Jackson, and Hurts. Let's take a look at their stats over the totality of the season, because I think that's one of the biggest areas where Nick Wright is not understanding what the MVP award is. It's a season-long award, a season accomplishment, season production award. Every time Nick Wright talks about this damn award, he talks about it within the circumstantial period of a couple of weeks or a couple of games. He never talks about it from the perspective of a whole season worth of production. Well, let's take a look at those 4 quarterbacks' whole season's worth of production. Let's take a look at Allen. We'll take a look at him first. Josh Allen has completed almost 65% of his passes, which ranks 20th. A tick under 2,700 yards, ranked 15th. 7.6 in average a throw, tied 11th. 20 touchdowns, ranked 7th. 5 interceptions, 100.3 passer rating, which is ranked 10th, and a 74.7 QBR, which is ranked 2nd. Pretty solid numbers. Could be a lot better, but pretty damn solid. Let's move over to Lamar. This is Lamar Jackson's numbers. He has 67 completion percentage rate, which is ranked 14th. A tick under 3,300 yards, ranked 2nd. 8.7 average a throw, tied for 1st. 29 passing touchdowns, ranked 2nd. He has 3 interceptions with 116.3 pass rating, which is number 1 in the NFL. And he has a 73.5 QBR, which ranks 4th. Okay, substantially better numbers than Josh Allen. But wait, there's 2 more we have to talk about. Who's the next one on the list? That'd be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has a 68.4 completion percentage rate, which is ranked 7th. He has a tick under 2,500 passing yards, which is ranked 20th. He has an 8.2 in average a throw, which is tied for 6th. He only has 14 passing touchdowns, which is tied for 16th. He has 5 interceptions, which is a 101.8 passer rating, of which is ranked 8th. And he has a 64.2 QBR, which is ranked 10th. Okay, so that is Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Where does Jared Goff rank in all this? Here's his numbers. Goff, 72.4 completion percentage rate, ranked 2nd. Just a tick under 3,300 yards, ranked 3rd. 8.6 in average a throw, ranked 3rd. 25 passing touchdowns, ranked 3rd. 10 interceptions, 109.1 passer rating, ranked 2nd, with a 63.1 QBR, which is ranked 11th. Okay, folks, I'm not a mathematician, but I am a stats wizard. I am very simple when I go about this, but anybody with 2 eyeballs that can clearly work and understand numbers and understand football just at a very basic level can clearly see that Goff spanks the ever-living hell out of both Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. And while he doesn't spank the hell out of Lamar Jackson in terms of an overall totality of statistics, he still is better than Lamar Jackson in terms of the rankings. Because think about it. Lamar Jackson is 14-2, tied for 1st, 2-1-4. Goff is 2-3-3-3, 2-11. So just from a rankings perspective, he's better. But the one area where Goff absolutely does spank the hell out of Lamar Jackson into the next universe is completion percentage. Lamar Jackson only has a 67 completion percentage rate. Goff has nearly a 73 completion percentage rate. It ain't even close. So okay here. Goff is clearly better than all the stats of all the other quarterbacks except for Lamar Jackson because he's only slightly better than Lamar. but he's way better than Josh Allen. He's way better than Jalen Hurts. Okay, well, let's then move on to the next part of this equation when you're talking about MVP. How are they doing as far as their ball clubs in terms of their win-loss? How are they doing as far as accomplishments are concerned? Which, let me tell you something. When you take a look at the accomplishments, it's not even up for debate. I seriously wish I had a platform that was large enough to where I could push this out to everybody, because when you actually take a look at what Goff has done over the totality of the season, it's not even, there's no contest. It is not even a contest. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute or two. Let's take a look at what Goff has done in comparison to those other three in terms of win-loss, where they rank in terms of the division race, and where they rank in terms of the first seed conference rankings. Okay, Goff has a 12-1 record. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, they have a 10-2 record each, and Lamar has the worst record out of the bunch with an 8-5 record. Okay, where are all four of those guys in determining where they are in their division race as far as winning the division championship? Goff, Allen, and Hurts are all ranked first in their individual divisions. Lamar is ranked second, and that's to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The team that everybody thought this year had absolutely no chance of doing anything, he's ranked second to. Okay. How about the race for achieving the first seed within their conference? Well, let's think about it. Allen and Lamar, they're in the AFC. Goff and Hurts are in the NFC. Goff and the Lions, number one in the number one seed overall conference race. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are second to the Lions. Josh Allen is second to the Chiefs, who are 11-1, and he is 10-2. And then Lamar is fourth in the AFC with the Ravens. So it's not even Lamar might as well not even be in the contest. So, okay. Goff has the best win-loss record. Goff is first in both division race and in number one seed conference race. Only quarterback out of those four to do that. Now, here comes my pièce de résistance, my grand masterpiece of evidence that shows why Goff is the undisputed, not even up for debate, freaking MVP of the NFL this year. I have all four quarterbacks, and I decided to put every meaningful accomplishment, every meaningful achievement that a quarterback would want to go after this year, which is completion percentage games, passer rating games, touchdown amount per game, passing yard per game, win streaks, the whole 9 yards. And what I did is I tallied up each time a quarterback was able to do that individual achievement. Here's what you're going to see. I'm going to try and put this up on the screen, and if I'm able to do it, you're going to get a very, very clear picture here. Take a look, if you will, at Goff compared to Allen, Jackson, and Hurts. Goff has literally a statistical notch in every single category I had. The only two categories he doesn't have anything for is 5 touchdown plus pass games or 500 pass yard games or more. Everything else he has at least one in. We'll take a look at Josh Allen. Got several zeros in there, but he's got something to work with. Again, you take a look at Lamar Jackson, there are some areas where Lamar Jackson has better individual areas than Goff does. But overall, Goff again spanks Lamar out of the damn universe. And Josh Allen, hell, there's a period in there where he's got like 5 or 6 zeros in a row. Like, dude, it's not even a contest. In fact, to put this as bluntly as I possibly can, I then decided to add in something to kind of determine it for myself. I said, okay, there's going to be a star pattern next to each individual statistical ranking that is considered the leader of that particular ranking. And then if for some reason somebody is tied with somebody for the lead spot, I'm going to put another pattern or another symbol next to it. Here's what you're going to notice. Goff has the most stars for leading in each of the categories out of everybody with 8. Lamar only has 4. So Goff doubles Lamar in those categories. And between Lamar and Goff, they both are tied with 2 apiece. Meaning neither Allen nor Hurts leads in anything. Pretty much it comes down to a Goff versus Lamar Jackson contest. And when you take a look at the overall contest itself, Lamar Jackson is not even close. It might as well be that Lamar Jackson is a little ant and frickin' Goff is the mean kid with the magnifying glass. Frickin' Goff is roasting his ass. It's not even close. Goff has the better overall win-loss record. Goff is actually pretty much going to win his division for a second year in a row. Goff is going to get most likely the number one overall seed this year. Goff has had an accomplishment that has never been happened in the entirety of the NFL with a 100-plus passer rating, a 100-plus pass completion percentage game and a 158.3 passer rating game in the same season. I mean, for crying out loud, how much more does Goff have to prove? How much more does he have to do before it's like, dude, can we just give him the MVP award right now? Like, seriously, what the hell else does he have to do? It's not up for debate. It is not even a contest at this point. The rest of the guys, they are so far out of it, they might as well be freaking 2 or 3 miles behind Goff at this point. Goff has built such a comfortable lead in this that the only way he couldn't win it is if for some reason, knock on wood, heaven above, don't let it happen, he were to not play the rest of the year. That's how ridiculously far ahead he is. So let's put this into the most blunt, most simplest terms I possibly can here. Goff has not only beaten all the other quarterbacks from a statistical standpoint, he's not only beaten them all from an achievement standpoint, he's not only beaten all of them in terms of a win-loss record standpoint. He's beaten everybody in terms of all 3 categories that would measure who's the MVP of the year. So if we're going to go based off of those parameters, I'm sorry. Jared Goff is the only logical choice to win MVP. If anybody else wins MVP, it's a crock of an award. It's freaking a sham. But to get this back to Nick Wright, the fact that Nick Wright is, again, not willing to give Jared Goff the award purely because of what he's done this year, but rather because, of all these other circumstances where, hey, Josh Allen's going to lose 2 in a row, and then they're going to look at the stats, or because Jared Goff is going to have the last Monday Night Football game, and he's just going to have all this extra attention on him, and that's going to solidify his ability to get the award. Okay, those are all valid points, Nick Wright, but what about the rest of the crap that he did, the previous 12 games before all this? Does that not have any sort of merit in that conversation or within the voting process? Again, the fact that Nick Wright is trying to do whatever he can not to give Jared Goff his just due, even though he's making a correct argument, the problem is it's a very shallow argument. Just freaking say it, Nick Wright. Say it what you already know in your heart. Say what you already know is true. Jared Goff is the best quarterback and the best player in the NFL. It's that simple. Get it done and over with. Stop trying to grit your teeth every time you get on your television show and find some other way to freaking weasel your way out of it so that way you don't have to say it. Just get it over with and move on with the rest of us. Period. End of discussion. Anyway, having said that, I'm going to end this episode because I got another one coming out about another analyst here later on. So just stay tuned. We ain't done yet today. But having said that, for this one, I am done. Just want to say thank you all for watching another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to do one of these 3 things. Like, comment, and subscribe. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, highly encourage y'all, please make sure you hit that bell notification icon so you guys never miss any more content I push out. Also encourage y'all, please, to share the content with your Lions friends and family members. Share here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share anywhere and everywhere you possibly can. The more we can do that, the greater the channel grows and spreads. And with that being said to everybody, I hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all enjoyed the content. Whether you're a long-time viewer or this is the first time watching me. Also encourage y'all, hey, make sure you got something in your life that makes you happy. Make sure you're smiling. Make sure you got something that you're absolutely, joyous about. And with that, I hope y'all are doing great. Hope y'all are doing well. God bless, my friends. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.